Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, Tara Long, will you please call the roll?
Magistrate Likens.
Here.
Magistrate Tice.
Here.
Magistrate Woosley.
Here.
Magistrate Jeffries.
Here.
Magistrate Hounds.
Here.
Magistrate Hawkins.
Here.
Magistrate Dye.
Present.
Magistrate Logston.
Here.
Judge Vogel.
Here. Having all members of the fiscal court present, this meeting is now in session. Is there a motion to accept the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Are there any additions or deletions requested? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Time now to read the minutes from our last meeting, and that meeting was on August 1st.
The Oldham County Fiscal Court convened at 2:03 p.m. with Judge Vogel, County Attorney Baxter, and the following magistrates in attendance: Likens, Tice, Woosley, Jeffries, Hounds, Hawkins, Dye, and Logston. Motion made by Magistrate Dye and seconded by Magistrate Woosley to approve the agenda. Motion carried unanimously. A moment of silence was observed for Judge Dwayne Murner. Motion made by Magistrate Hounds and seconded by Magistrate Woosley to approve the minutes of July 18th. Motion carried unanimously. Public comment. Larry Kaiser of 3000 Maple Leaf in LaGrange thanked the judge for hosting a public safety town hall and asked the judge what were his takeaways other than more people attending night meetings. Judge Vogel responded to Mr. Kaiser's comments. Mr. Kaiser continued, requested a local ordinance that would hold irresponsible gun owners accountable if a gun was stolen that was not properly secured, requested that the judge and court issue statements of support for legalizing cannabis that could be sent to state legislators. Barry Baxter, County Attorney, explained that the issue of holding gun owners responsible is a legislative issue and would be difficult to enforce at a local level regarding an ordinance. Judge Vogel encouraged Mr. Kaiser to approach each magistrate to request their individual support regarding legalization of cannabis. Pewee Valley Fire Protection Board Chairman Joe Burkhart presented information related to fiscal year 23-24 budget and to the ad valorem tax rates, which will stay at the same rate of 10 cents per $100 value on real and personal property and 10 cents per $100 on motor vehicles and watercraft. Tom Hall presented KYTC's Rural Secondary Program for road maintenance in Oldham County. Motion made by Magistrate Dye and seconded by Magistrate Hounds to concur with KYTC Rural Secondary Program for road maintenance in Oldham County as submitted. Discussion followed. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Hounds and seconded by Magistrate Logston to approve the payment of the payables as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. Magistrate Tice left the meeting at 3 p.m. Motion made by Magistrate Likens and seconded by Magistrate Jeffries to authorize Judge Vogel to sign the deceased animal removal grant application as submitted and to accept the grant if it was awarded. Motion carried 8-0. Magistrate Tice returned to the meeting at 3:03 p.m. Motion made by Magistrate Jeffries and seconded by Magistrate Woosley to authorize Judge Vogel to sign the GRW Amendment 1 as submitted. Motion carried 8-0 to 1. Magistrate Tice abstained. Magistrate Dye left the meeting at 3:08 p.m. Motion made by Magistrate Woosley and seconded by Magistrate Hounds to authorize Judge Vogel to sign the Food Truck Festival contract as submitted. Discussion followed. Motion carried 8-0. Magistrate Dye returned to the meeting at 3:12 p.m. Motion made by Magistrate Jeffries and seconded by Magistrate Hounds to authorize Judge Vogel to sign the change order for 18 Mile Creek Road as submitted. Discussion followed. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Jeffries and seconded by Magistrate Woosley to release the $31,928 performance surety for Heather Ridge Section 2 as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Tice and seconded by Magistrate Jeffries to take the roads within Heather Ridge Section 2 into Oldham County Road Maintenance System as submitted. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Woosley and seconded by Magistrate Hawkins to select option number 2 at $174,092.75 for sandblasting and recoating the buttress system at the Aquatic Center as submitted. Discussion followed. Motion carried 8-1. Magistrate Dye voted no. Motion made by Magistrate Likens and seconded by Magistrate Hounds to hire Brian Bramlett as a 5-year lateral at $32.70 base hourly rate effective August 7th. Motion carried unanimously. Tina Schaaf, Director of Human Resources, announced the resignation of Robert Lane effective July 31st. Motion made by Magistrate Jeffries and seconded by Magistrate Hounds to promote Michael Lee Thompson to Senior Site Inspector at $29.74 an hour effective August 2nd. Motion carried unanimously. Tina Schaaf, Director of Human Resources, announced the resignation of Mickey Towles effective July 31st. Public comment. John Lackner of 1704 Mahogany Run Drive in LaGrange expressed appreciation for the work on the pool. Mr. Lackner stated his opinion as a licensed professional engineer that there should be little concern regarding the rusting of stainless steel in the pool remodel. Motion made by Magistrate Dye and seconded by Magistrate Hounds to enter closed session pursuant KRS 61.810B, deliberations on the future acquisition or sale of real property by a public agency with the addition of the following people: County Attorney Barry Baxter, Deputy Judge Kevin Nuss. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Dye and seconded by Magistrate Hounds to come out of closed session. Motion carried unanimously. Motion made by Magistrate Dye and seconded by Magistrate Hounds to adjourn the meeting. Motion carried unanimously and the meeting adjourned at 4:28 p.m.
You've heard the reading of our minutes from August 1st. Are there any corrections? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Time, pardon?
Do we have a motion? A motion in a second?
I'll move that.
Motion. A second.
Jumped ahead of myself there. Okay. All right, now, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Time now for public comment, the time during our meeting when anyone who has come to address the fiscal court who's not on the agenda is able to do so. Is there anyone here who would like to bring up an issue or speak to us about something? All right.
Good afternoon, Tim Wakefield, Oldham County Sheriff. Submitted the activity report to you guys yesterday, and I included, at the request of several magistrates, a year-to-date activity report. And I just want to know if you had any questions about it and wanted to discuss it. All right, great. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Sheriff. Okay. And anyone else for public comment? Seeing no one, we'll close that and go on to the first item on the agenda, and that is the Ballersville Fire Protection District budget presentation. And the Chief Fonte is with us today, all dressed up in his, what do they call it, Class A uniform there?
Do I need to use So the Ballersville Fire District Board of Trustees established a 2023-2024 tax rate for real and personal property at 10 cents for each $100 valuation, and tax rate on motor vehicles and watercraft at 10 cents for each $100 valuation, which has been the same tax rate as we've had for several years. Let's see here. That's the wrong paper. There's that one. As far as reserve funding, we've got right at $818,000. A lot of that is allotted for obviously equipment and finishing our Fire Station 2. And then lastly is a copy of our budget, which I think I've emailed it to the magistrates in our district and the judge and Ms. Long. So, any questions on that?
All right, anyone have a question for Chief Fonte? All right, how are you, now you're all volunteer staff,
Well, so
correct? Other
I'm
than
full-time
yourself?
paid, and then
Right.
we've got a day staff that's 8 to 5, Monday through Saturday.
Okay, you do, all
Yes, sir.
right, great.
That's been that way. We started day staff October 2007.
All right. And I believe you mentioned the sum of your reserve was for finishing work at Station 2.
Yes, sir.
What do you have left there?
The dorm rooms, so that was set up, the plan when we built that was it would suffice for the next 50 years. It's a there's basically no, it's not combustible building. So the plan was we've got 3 refrigerators, 3 pantries, everything for when the time comes where we're 24/48 full-time staffing. But the dorm rooms are not finished. That was an add-on, and we just didn't have the funding at the time. So we've got, it's framed and drywalled now and finished as far as it's not been painted, but the next step will be, I think I put 25,000 or I don't remember the exact amount in the budget for Station 2, 20,000. It's down there under building improvements. But our newest fire engine's a 2005, and it's the piece so long story short, we've wrote a grant to replace that, but yeah, that's next step in that would be to try to get in Station 2 to get the bathrooms finished so we can take showers in there if the guys get back off of a run and dirty, whatnot. We want to get the carcinogens off of us as soon as we can. That's the latest and greatest thing is the cancer that's involved with the fire service right now.
Okay. And did you buy something new, or you're saving money for it?
Well, we have not. We put in for a grant. As you all know, we hosted the grant for the SCBA packs that went to South Oldham, LaGrange, Ballardsville, and Westport. My Assistant Chief Baker wrote that grant, and we were successful. So we did hire a grant writer, so we put in for a new, it's actually replacing one of our older, it's called a squared apparatus. So we can't write in to replace that piece of apparatus, so we wrote in for an engine, and then to upgrade it to that, actually it was a ladder, would be the $500,000, and the fire trucks are $1 million now. So, the last one we bought was $300,000 in 2005. Now they're $1 million piece of equipment. Yeah.
Well, it's believable, but it's unbelievable
Well,
at the same time.
cars are $100,000. Who'd ever thought that?
Right. Okay. Is it Magistrate Jeffries?
You asked most of the question, but about the upgrading the Station 2 or whatever, but looks like that, do you have a timeline to start that?
We're just trying to nip a little bit at it as we can afford to. We had to increase our salary a bunch this year, so our payroll budget went up a bunch just to be comparable. We're not in a battle, but volunteer numbers are really low, so we're having to hire more part-time guys to suffice that. And just the cost of business is just, as far as payroll goes, has went up. We were at $10 starting off. Now we're at $15 to start off, which is comparable. Trying to stay in balance with the other fire departments around us, so we're not stealing each other's personnel, if that makes sense. Trying to keep that under bay, because we all work together as it is anyways.
Okay. And I'd just like to say too, we've got some community groups that have been using the Fire Station 2 out there to meet, monthly or whatever, and appreciate you all opening that up. And it's a really great facility, and I think other fire departments do the same thing.
Sure.
So,
Yes.
It's very helpful for groups to, come in there and have a good place to go and be safe and that kind of thing. So, thank you.
Thank you.
And certainly appreciate the lead that Ballardsville took on helping us create our drone system.
Yes, sir.
That was, it's been a great addition, and I appreciate you and Deputy Ryan Baker for having that idea and getting it together for us. So,
Thank you.
All right, Chief, thank you very much for being here. The next presentation on our agenda today is from the Oldham County Health Department. We welcome Director Matt Rhodes.
Thank you. See if I can open it up here. Yes, we have both things here. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a while since I've been before the court to present anything, but just a slight point of correction, and I know you all are aware of this. It says the Oldham County Health Department. This is more the Oldham County Board of Health budget. They serve as the taxing district, or the special purpose governmental entity that sets the tax rate for our department. And this is the budget information here. This is the form which is submitted to the state, which states that we're trying to continue to maintain a fiscally conservative approach to providing public health services. The 2.5 cents for real property, 2.5 cents for personal property, and for motor vehicle taxes is the same tax rate that has been maintained since 2016. So we're going on 9 years. I will say this as it relates to the other 120 counties. There are 6 other health departments that have a tax rate that's less than ours, but the majority of those are in district health departments, which means they have multiple counties by which to pool their funds. But out of 120, we're number 7 on maintaining the lowest tax rate. The average tax rate across the state for public health tax rate is 4.7.
Great.
And I will share this information. This is the budget information, as you can see. Total revenue generated by this is 2.3 million. Total disbursement into the department's operational budget is 1.8. Leaves a net revenue over expense of 439,000. The reason that we budget it like that and the board approves our budget is because we do carry a $9 million pension liability, and we want to make sure that we're able to provide pension funding for our staff members. And I'll be glad to answer any questions.
All right, does anybody have any questions for Director Rhodes?
I have one.
Magistrate Likens.
Thank you, Matt. I've just noticed here under your revenue that you get $179,565 interest. I don't see that on other people's budgets when they turn those in. I think somebody needs to ask your advice on what to do with getting as much interest as they can with their money while it's sitting in their account.
Thank you for noticing that. That's one benefit for high interest rates, I can say, and thanks to Dee Dee Yance, who's my Director of Financial Administrative Services, and our board agreed to put that money, our reserve funding, into a CD this year. And with the high interest rates that are being yielded now, we were able to generate that revenue over this fiscal year. So trying to take the funding that we do have in reserves and use that wisely.
That's great. Thank you.
Magistrate Hawkins.
Matt, on your initial cover sheet, most people when they present let us know what last year's rate was versus this year, and yours didn't have last year's rate, but you confirmed it's remained the same.
Yes.
And I guess my request is next year, would you mind putting it on that it's the same? So, I mean, it's easy enough to go research what it was last year. But then also on your website, I couldn't find what it was last year either. Is there a place online where I can find the continuous tax rate?
It may not be included, but I'll take it back to my communications director. We do have a section on there for our Board of Health information, and we can easily post that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, the rate is, Matt said, 2.5 cents since 2016. Prior to that, that was 2%, I believe, for like 40 years. I mean, there have been in my 17 years, there only one increase from the health department, and that was, prior to that, it was just really 2% or ever. So it hadn't been, any steady increase. Yeah. Okay, great. Magistrate Jeffries.
Yes, just a quick question, Matt. On the your services that you provide with the septic tank, going out and looking at lateral fields, things like that, are those visits up, or are they staying about the same, or do you know what the numbers are?
I think they're down slightly year over year from the previous 2 years, but we saw a marked increase over those 2 years during COVID. I'm assuming that's because a lot of people are staying at home and those systems were getting used more. As far as new on-site systems, we're continuing to see a fairly steady number. I did not pull that information to bring to you, but I'll be happy to get that from my environmental health staff and share that over following the meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Magistrate Likens.
Thank you, Judge. I forgot to ask you, this new COVID bug that's out there, I don't know much about it, but I just hear that people are still out there getting COVID. So is there anything we need to do as far as being alarmed? Or I've seen people with masks on again. So
Yeah,
kinda
the
give us
first
an
thing I'll
update.
say is I don't think we should be alarmed. Obviously, as we saw throughout COVID, there are certain individuals that have a higher risk than others. So if you're in a certain risk category, like if you're over 65, if you have diabetes, obese, some of those things, certainly take precautions. But I don't think that there's any need to be alarmed. We are seeing an uptick in cases, but we're not seeing anywhere near the hospitalization rate that we were previously. But I did reach out, I was sharing with some of the members earlier before the meeting, I did reach out to our local hospital administrator today to see if they're seeing a market increase. I know across the state we're starting to see a slight uptick. I haven't had a response from him yet, but I look forward to that follow-up conversation.
Magistrate Dye.
Yes, thank you, Judge. Matt, On the, back to the CD investment, the 179,585, 565, I guess it is. Is that what the value of the CD is with the interest earned?
That is interest earned. The value of the CD I reserved that was put into that CD was 3.9 million.
Okay, so this is actual revenue that you've captured.
That is actual revenue. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
I didn't get the first part of that. Or your second part, I didn't get that. Okay, all right, just wanted to be sure. Thank you.
Magistrate Hounds.
Matt, you probably were aware of this, but we had, the Realtors of Oldham County had a meeting at the Health Department, and Charlie Ward was there. So far, we've had 3 meetings. His was the highest attended, spoke for the longest amount of time, and generated the most questions. But Charlie did a great job with that, and I think he's probably gotten more business, not really, but, more questions because of that, which was the goal, was to get the name with the face. And so when people call, they're not just getting, a response back. They want to see the person. There also, though, to communications, there was a person that was complaining, and I think you guys have already taken care of it, that they said they had called the health department, or they were sending an email to a email address that nobody was monitoring regularly. Are you aware of that?
I'm not aware of that particular issue, but we do have an admin email inbox that I monitor daily.
Okay, I'll get it and send it to you. I just saw it last night, and I knew that you were going to be in here, and I tried to pull it up, and I can't find it now. But
Yeah.
I'll send it over to you that they hadn't gotten a response. I thought that was kind of strange because Charlie and you and Leanne, I mean, it's usually I get a response back, and I know other people do within a short period of time.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, there are exceptions, obviously, and this sounds like it may have fallen through the cracks, but we will follow up very promptly. And thank you for the feedback from Charlie. I agree. He does a great job. He's extremely conscientious, and I can say that about all my staff. We have the most conscientious group of public servants that I've ever worked with. So thank you for that feedback.
Magistrate Logston.
Well, I was going to withdraw my question, but I might as well ask it since Brent Likens brought it up. I've had 2 people that I know have passed away from COVID, and again, this is all rumor stuff. And they said that it was the original strain. There's no way the original strain can go back. So have you heard that from anybody?
I'm not familiar with that conversation, but there are new variants that are coming on line, if you will, as we progress through time, and that's what happens with viruses. They mutate slightly, and there's genetic drift or shift, and then we'll get a new variant. There are new monovalent vaccines that are being targeted to the latest variants. In fact, the authorization that was given for all the bivalent vaccines will actually go away here at the end of August. The new monovalent vaccine will be made available on the commercial market, and the bivalent vaccine that was given previously will no longer be available. So the strains continue to drift as we see it.
I guess my question was, I mean, usually the strains gets weaker and weaker and weaker. And it just found odd that somebody would say, oh, well, this original strain that was out there. And it's like, I don't know how that could ever happen. So I just thought I'd ask you if you heard anything about that. So
Yeah, I mean, I can't question what someone is being told or what they've heard, but it doesn't seem practical with what I know about the virus itself.
thank you for all you do for us.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask you, thank you for coming and making the presentation. We have a lot of food trucks that seem to be circulating throughout Oldham County on a regular basis. Are these trucks that come from outside the county, do they have an inspection happen somewhere, or are they inspected by us? What's the whole thing with food trucks and cleanliness?
Very good question. Wherever they have a home county where they're based, and in that home county they get permitted, but they have a statewide mobile food permit, which means they get inspected just like restaurants at least twice annually. But in most cases, when they go to fairs and festivals, they'll also get an inspection at those particular events as well. But they're required to get inspected. They have to contact their home health department within their county that they reside in primarily. But each time they go to a different fair or festival, they're probably getting inspected as well. So should be safe. As far as the healthiness of it, I'm not sure because they have a lot of fried food and good tasting food, but they should be as safe as restaurants.
All right, so I'm kind of gathering from this that when the fair just came and left, and others that we see out here, we're having a food truck festival at the community center in October, that we don't really check to see if their certificates are current.
If they are operating at one of our festivals locally, yes, we send staff. We had staff out at the fair doing inspections.
Good.
We had staff out at Oldham County Day on July 15th, I think it was, conducting inspections. So if we know about it, we're going to go and inspect them, but they should be also getting inspections in their home counties.
All right, great, thank you. Thank you for being here today. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you all.
We have another budget presentation today, and we'd like to welcome our library director, Julie Wilson.
Hello. Since Matt went before me, I'll brag on them and community partnerships in general. Thank you. Don't leave if I'm going to brag on you. I will say Matt's staff completely saved the day at our annual staff training. We had someone cancel on us 2 days before, I think, that was doing the whole afternoon for us. And he emailed me the following morning, sent 2 of his staff over, and they did a fantastic training for us, Leanne and Liz, and were really great. And we appreciate the health department so much and their partnership. Also, since the fire department was here, I will say they're a great partner too. The LaGrange Fire Department came one day this summer and just sprayed our kids with their giant hoses, and it was so cool. I thought, what a great program, very low cost, and everybody was happy. Some of the other partnerships we do are Maples Park, of course, and the OC schools, the Early Childhood Council, and of course our Friends of the Library. So that's just fun stuff that we all do together for you guys to know about. I've got our tax rates up here. Ours went down this year, unlike Matt, just a little bit, but we hate to see it go down since we are constructing a building. That wasn't the best timing, but so that has gone down just a little bit this year, as well as the personal property has continued to go down every year. Motor vehicle stays the same. Because of the growth in our county, though, our budget continues to increase, and we should see an increase in our revenue this year, and I've outlined that there for you guys. Since you asked about interest, the library, as well as taking advantage of the high interest rates that we don't enjoy for buying houses and such and cars, but it's good for our agencies. We are investing the bond money that we borrowed for the Goshen projects and should make quite a bit of interest off of that. We've been working with Baird Financial Services and also Stockyards Bank, a local bank, to help us invest that money. I didn't put this on my written report, but last year we were able to bring in $191,000 in interest off of the money that we've got sitting in the bank for those capital projects. So yeah, we are trying to make the most of those interest rates being high for the time being. So I just put in some fun pictures for you guys so you could see. I know you guys kind of know what we're up to. There's one of Judge Vogel with all of our library board members breaking some ground. We did that at the end of April. That went really well. We had a great turnout for our groundbreaking. We were really surprised how many people we got, but it was showed us how much people are excited about this project and how much people love libraries. I think Judge Vogel said, man, you got more people than the courthouse. But I thought, well, you know, the library is a little bit more fun than the courthouse.
That was a nasty day, too.
It was a nasty day. I will say Judge Vogel charmed the crowd and did a great job talking to everybody, and that was a lot of fun. Oh, Amy, got a picture of you in here. Jim and David Bazanis also came and spoke. You know, guys know he does a great job speaking to a crowd as well. And Kara from the chamber came. These are our architects. That's just taking a fun little picture. They've been great to work with, Studio Kramer Architects. So Morel Construction is the one that was awarded our contract, and this is just a picture of what it's should look like when it's all done. A few weeks ago, they started pouring the foundation. We went out and took pictures. That was really fun. Got to put our hard hats on. The geothermal drilling's done, and they're moving right along. I had a construction meeting this morning. I think they're about 3 weeks behind, but should be able to make that up and, over the course of the project. We're kind of, in the beginning stages still. It should be done next summer. We are also renovating our South Branch. If anybody's a Crestwood person, I know Chris is. That branch is still really small, and probably we won't have the money to do much there for quite a while. But we are giving it a little facelift. This is just a kind of a drawing of what we'll be doing there. That building was dedicated in 1981. It's had a couple of renovations, but we're going to do a little more significant, paint, carpet, new shelving, that kind of thing. So investing some in that branch, in that area. These are just some numbers to let you guys know what we've been up to. Our children's programming is very vital to the community. They saw over 29,000 people attend their programs this year. Also, we have programs for adults and teens as well. Let's see, what did I come up with? I think over 35,000 people came to our programs this past fiscal year, I should say. So we also circulated 460,000 items and saw 166,000 people come through our doors. That was an increase of 13.2% over the last year. So we're really back. It's really nice to be post-COVID, well post-COVID, even though I guess people are getting it again the last couple of weeks. We've got people out with it as well. Just a picture of our teens at Oldham County Day holding up our banner. We just try to involve the whole family in what we're doing at the library. We will have 2 library board members whose terms are ending in September, so you guys should be seeing some names come your way anytime. I've submitted names for those 2 positions to KDLA just a few days ago. I don't know if you've gotten them yet, but
Well, I've gotten them, but
okay.
I don't.
You got
I
them from
did-
me.
Yes, but
Yeah.
I haven't received any notification from Frankfurt that
Okay,
they were.
let me know if it seems like it's taking a long time. Apparently, they've got some glitches going on over there, so I just found out about it on Friday. So let me know, because we want to get them in and keep going with our full board. It's much better. Last picture is just, we had an adult spelling bee for the first time ever. I didn't know if anybody would come, but we had a really good turnout, and it was just something really fun to do. We had like a mother and daughter that participated. People were so nervous. I was so nervous. I was the spelling bee pronouncer, and we just wanted them all to spell every word right. But it was such a good time, and just such a great example of like kids were there watching their parents involved in the spelling bee, and just some good nerdy fun that you can have at the library. Let's see. I think that's all I've got, unless you guys have any questions.
All right, Magistrate Dye.
Thank you for being here today. Looks like your building is just coming along good. I didn't see in your in the excerpt here on our screen that we get. I don't see the budget.
Right. The total budget figures are at the top. I don't have it broken down for you. I can send you all that. I did not bring that last year either, but I can.
Well, usually we have like
What Matt had for you?
yeah.
Yeah, I can send that to you.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Magistrate Woosley.
Ms. Wilson, you talked about being good partners earlier. The library is also a good community partner, and I know Ms. Alvey's here. The county clerk is looking forward to sharing this new building when we get over there. So appreciate you guys being good partners as well. So.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. Amy's really easy to work with, too.
All right, anybody else have any questions for Julie?
Should I send that budget to Tara?
Pardon?
Should I send that budget to Tara for distribution?
Yes, right,
Okay.
please
Yep.
do. That's,
do
I mean, I know you've tried to put together a narrative here, but they're all looking for a,
Sure. Sure. Yep.
a revenue and expense
Sure.
line item presentation, so. And when did you say now, the new, the Goshen Library, you're calling it, right?
Yes.
I want to call it North Oldham Library, but, okay, whatever. Our new building is going to open, is it by the end of the year, or no? I don't think that's moving too
Hopefully
fast,
late
is it?
spring, early summer of
Early summer?
2024. Yeah.
Okay.
So cross your
Yeah.
fingers. We'll see.
Well, that'd be great. I see a lot of construction equipment moving around, but just the topography is such that when you go on 42, you can't quite see what's happening
Right.
on
if
the other
anybody
side
would
of
like,
the mound of dirt.
yes. If anybody would like to, go on the site, just let me know. In your little coffee cups is my card, so just send me an email if you'd like to take a visit over there. Yeah, they've got a lot of fun, earth movers over there. Every little boy's dream, all those trucks and stuff.
Right.
So
A lot of
yeah.
mud, too. you
Yes,
know.
there's a lot of mud right now. Yes, they've hit a lot of rock too. So.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, thank
All
you.
right. Thank you for the coffee cups here, and we also I think some health department gave us something to wash our hands with. So I don't know if that's cleanliness is next to godliness, as I recall. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. And now we can go on to county administration. We have our bills to pay, and I think someone will make a motion to that effect.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion here? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item here, item B under the county administration is surplus property. Chief Smith is here to discuss that.
What this is, we have the old radios that we no longer use once we went digital. We got quite a few of them in our building. So what we're proposing is to trade these off to the person that does our installs, company that does our installs in our police cars. Okay.
Right.
Is that a no vote?
Well, no.
Denied.
There's a trap door, too.
Anyway,
Oops, there it goes.
You got any lights in that surplus we can use?
No, that could be. We got about $6,500. He's offered us $6,500 for this list of radios that we have. We did go on some of the websites to see exactly, like gov.deals, what these things would bring. We're getting a better deal than what we found on the gov.deals. So anyway, it would be a credit that they would have, $6,500. They would apply that towards any cars that we have down there being installed.
All right, is there a motion that we accept this offer from L&W Outfitters for a $6,500 credit for the radios and charger equipment shown on page 2 here?
So moved.
Second.
All right, discussion?
I have a question.
As should Jeffries?
Just a couple things. These older radios or whatever, they're not digitally, you can't use them on the digital system or
they're
whatever.
not
So
digital.
do they,
Different band.
I mean, that's, I think that's a fair price, but I noticed it was showing a 7357, estimated value or whatever. But yeah, the other sites that y'all looked at, they didn't offer these kind of amounts.
No, I tell you, I can show you one real quick if you want to see it.
Okay.
We found one that actually has 155 different units. There's 44 mobile radios, 34 chargers, 76 base chargers. So that's 155 different pieces of equipment. And their latest bid that they have on this, latest bid they have on that is $3,475.
Okay.
So we're well ahead of the game for what we have.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
every radio we're taking down there works, by the way. The chargers and the radio.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I just, I didn't know whether there was other avenues that, might get a better price or whatever, but that sounds fair.
There could be, but quite frankly, I don't know. The only thing we could do is just go online and just kind of price it out ourselves to see what we think they would bring.
The problem is these are VHF radios and everybody's going 800 digital.
Right.
So you're selling, everybody's going to 800 digital, and so they're not obsolete, but they're close.
Right.
And some departments are still operating off these radios.
Yeah.
Judge?
All right, Magistrate Hawkins.
Can you tell us that number again, 6,000 what? That you're getting-
$6,500.
Okay,
L&W's offered $6,500. It's actually going to be a trade for service. So we take
Okay.
our cars there to have the installs for our equipment and all
okay.
that. So they're going to deduct $6,500 off the bill.
what will he do with it, the company, if people aren't?
He is probably the biggest installer in the state for police equipment. He has some police departments that are looking for these radios that
Okay.
are not on the 800 system, the digital system.
Thank you.
Measure die.
Chief, normally when we have surplus equipment, the treasurer comes up. Is there any reason why you're doing it today, or?
I volunteered.
Oh, okay, all right,
Treasurer's not here today.
Yeah.
okay. But the money will be
Right.
returned to fiscal court.
Pardon?
The money will be returned into fiscal
Oh,
court.
yes, yeah, right.
All right, well, I thought that was the point of the treasurer doing it. Okay, just,
Well, we won't get money for these. We get credit off of what we install in the
right,
police.
well, yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
I'm just saying, I thought that the treasurer normally did that,
Okay.
but since you volunteered, I get you in trouble. You may stand here around more
Yeah,
than you
you're
think.
right.
Well,
Go
the,
ahead and volunteer and get you.
Yeah, be careful what you ask for.
we sort of adopted a custom, let's say, in the past of a former treasurer bringing this information forward, but that doesn't mean that there aren't others that could do it. It was just that she started doing it, and it was fine. We went along with it, and we've done it for years that way, but there is no specific rule that the treasurer brings it forward.
I'm not saying there should be or shouldn't be. I'm just saying I was just curious.
Right.
Mr. Jeffries, you want to see this one we found in Gov.
No, I'm fine.
Okay, so we've got a motion and a second to accept $6,500 credit from L&W for these radios and chargers. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Okay,
Thank you. Now we're on to community business, the first reading of our reapportionment ordinance. Amy Alvey, County Clerk, review where the reapportionment stands at this point.
Sure. So this is the first reading of ordinance KOC 23-200-372. So again, first reading, the public hearing. I got with Attorney Baxter. There is one correction. The plan from the reapportionment committee that fiscal court appointed was not presented to fiscal court on July 19th. It was June 28th. So fiscal court has 60 days from that date to approve the lines, which means that 60-day cutoff is August 28th. So fiscal court will have to have a special meeting in order to approve the lines as they see fit. So again, today is just the first reading, and we'll have a second reading and public hearing on or before August 28th, and we'll get that worked out with Tara about the advertising portion of it.
Right. So what we need to do here today, this is the first reading of the reapportionment. It'll be posted on our website for the community to look at. And but we need to, I think, pick a day here where we're going to have the second reading. And I don't know if you all have calendars on your phone or what, but we get down to
Can we do it the 28th, or does it have to be before the 28th?
28th probably is the last day, but the 28th is actually.
One thing you said, when you and I communicated about this, you said that it was distributed on June the 29th.
Yes, I'm sorry, June the 29th. So
Okay.
60 days from there is August 28th.
So it has to be on or before August 28th.
On or before August
Yes.
20th? Okay,
By statute.
gotcha.
So we could do it on the 28th?
Yes, on or before.
We have to advertise it, though.
What's the advertising have to be?
No less than 7, no more than 21.
Okay.
There's plenty of
Planning,
days to
zoning.
advertise in there, but.
Yeah, I just, if we didn't,
So,
Judge,
Yes, sir.
could we make the 28th meeting a special meeting and negate the necessity to have the meeting on the 4th of September, the day after
Fifth.
Labor Day?
5th of September.
I personally have a conflict on the 28th, the afternoon. So,
Could we do it?
Well,
in the
you're going to
morning?
vote for it, so it won't make a difference if you're sitting in that chair, right?
what's that?
You're going to vote for it, so it doesn't make a difference if you're sitting in the chair. You said it, you
Doesn't
don't have
matter
any
to me
lines.
what you come out with, because my lines aren't changed.
Yeah, so really.
Could we do it on August 25th, which is a Friday? Is that too soon?
you're not going to meet the advertising requirements